Hello, welcome to another session with Montel, attentive. We're learning chess again today. Montel is just about in the screen above me there. Hello, Montel. He's going to be our coach. And myself, Lavelle, and Mia are learning from him. We are youth ambassadors with Attentive.
Excellent. Mia, hi.
Hi.
What are you hoping to get from these training chess sessions?
Well, I mean, from what I understand of like chess as a game, it is quite it's versatile and what you can kind of get from it, because it's quite intellectual. It's a lot of like puzzle solving, thinking on the spot, stuff like that. So it's all kind of things that you would want to, I guess, like develop normally. And from what you've told me, Montel, you said that you really enjoyed learning it when you were younger and when you were a chess master yourself. So I'm kind of hoping to get from it what you did, where it was kind of something that you really enjoyed to do in your spare time. It's kind of a talent that you developed, I suppose. So yeah, I'm a quick learner, so hopefully I pick it up quickly, and I'm sure I won't be as good as you are just yet, but maybe somewhere close.
Great. In the future, you'll be even better. Over to you, Laurel.
Hi, yeah.
What we're doing.
Well, I played chess before, but not properly. I've just played for fun with friends and stuff. I learned the basics, but I'm not great at it. So I'd like to just improve my skills of chess, to be honest, and just try and get better. And of course, like Mia just said as well, you get a lot of skills out of it that you could apply elsewhere, not just in chess. So I'd like to develop that too and see where I can go with it.
Great. And just before we go into the game, just to highlight a couple of those skills. One of them is it helps to improve your memory. Because with chess, it's all about thinking and it's about memorizing. And there's techniques and tricks which you will learn throughout playing chess, and you can apply them to your lives. It's also about having different plans, but also thinking about your options. In life, you always need to consider your options and the options of people around you at all times. Okay, now let's get into it. So the idea of chess is one of the oldest games that people have played throughout the world. People play it in different languages in different countries, and because you don't need to speak a certain language, it's quite an ancient game whereby the rules have hardly changed throughout thousands of years. They start off with a board, and you have 16 pieces each. Yeah, 16 white and 16 black. You start off with the board. They have letters at the bottom and numbers going up the side. You always start off with the A1 in the bottom on the left-hand corner, and you start off setting up the white pieces there. On the second row, you put what we call pawns. You have 8 pawns, and they're all placed on the second row. On the first row, you have a number of different pieces. The first one we will go into, it's got 2 names. First name is a rook, or the second name is a castle. Next to that is a knight. Next to the knight is a bishop. And then on the white square, you have the white queen. Next to the queen, on the final square that's left, you have the king. And then you replicate the pieces on the opposite side. So then you have the bishop, knight, and rook. The rook can also be known as the castle because it looks like a castle. Any questions so far, Mia or Laurel?
I don't think so. I think I've got all of the names down.
Brilliant. Okay. I'm going to tell you about what the values are and how they move next.
Yes, yeah. But I am wondering, just out of curiosity, because you said there's 16 pieces and you have 8 pawns on the second row. Is there a purpose for them being there, or are they just extra pieces?
They are. Okay, so all the pawns have to be on the second row, and opposite you, what you do is you check with your opponent that they have set up their pieces exactly how you have done. So they need also to have on the first row the rook, knight, bishop, black queen and black square, then the king, rook, knight, and castle. If any piece here is in the wrong place, for example, occasionally you'll see the king and queen in the wrong place. The queen won't be on its own color. You need to void the game and start again. And you'll understand why as we go into the rules.
Okay.
Cool.
Now we're going to go into why they're on each square and how they move. So now we're going to pass over to Laurel to talk to us about what how the pawn moves, first of all.
Okay, so for the pawn, I know that on the first move, it can either move one space or two forwards, and it can only move forwards. It can't move backwards at any point, unless eventually you'll explain later that it can be, you can get it to a different piece, but that's in the future. And when you're attacking with a pawn, let's say there's a piece in front of you directly, I know that you can't attack straight forwards. It will have to attack either diagonally forwards, left or right. So if there's two pawns right in front of each other, they'll be stuck there until another piece comes and removes one of the pawns.
Yes, absolutely. And Mia, we'll go through this in more detail, but we'll just to reiterate what Laurel has said there. If there is a piece in front of a pawn, it cannot move any further forward. If it's diagonal and it's its own piece, it is supporting that piece. If it's the opponent's piece, it's attacking it. And it can if you choose to take it. If the pawn gets from that first rank to the very end, you can do something called pawn promotion. And that means grow from being a pawn into any other piece on the board. So what you have again, just to remind you, is you have a castle, knight, bishop, or queen. Almost always people will promote to a queen rather than a bishop or knight. Any questions on pawn promotion at this stage?
I don't think so.
I've got a question. Is there like any reason why you'd want to go to any of the other things other than a queen?
Only a knight. You may want to promote to a knight. Now, the reason why you may want to promote to a knight is because of how the pieces move. So in a moment, I'm going to show you how these pieces move, and then you'll see why you may want to promote to a knight. You won't want to promote to a bishop or a castle. Only either queen, 90-95% of the time, or maybe occasionally a knight. But that's a very good question that you asked.
Thank you.
So now, how does the castle move?
Right, so a castle or rook either moves straight forward or across the board. It can't go diagonally.
Excellent. And what happens if it's got one of its pieces in front of it? Can it move or can it jump over it?
It can't jump over it, only the knight can jump over pieces. You either have to take that piece or stop in front of it.
Yes. Okay. Now we come on to a knight. Do you know it?
The knight moves in an L shape, so it can move two squares to the side of itself, or above itself or behind itself, and then one square to either side. So as you can see here on the diagram, the blue squares, it can go forward two spaces and then to the side onto a blue square. So any of those places, it can go to about 8 places from the middle of the board. So you want to keep the knight in the middle of the board, really, because if you go to the side, then it just lessens your options of where you can move it.
So Mia, so basically, as Shinawa said, it can either move 1 and then 2, okay, to get to there. So it goes like 1. So all these ones which are in blue, it can move on to, but it only obviously takes one move at a time, so it'll go to here. It'll jump from here to here, or it'll jump from here to here. Now, if the knight is in the corner here, Laurel, where can the knight go to? Can it go to here?
No.
Can it go to here?
It can go there.
Yes. Can it go here?
Yes.
Okay, so can you see that, Mia? Because it goes into an L shape.
Yeah.
And it goes to an L shape that way. So if it's in the corner, it's not as strong as what it would be in the middle of the board. Now we have a bishop. Over to Laurel. How does your bishop move?
Bishop can move diagonally in any direction, not straight off like a castle can. No, it can only diagonally.
Excellent. And how many bishops do you have?
2.
And what colour squares are the bishops on?
Oh, would they be on white and black?
Yes.
White on the left and black on the right.
Yes, absolutely right. So 1 on each colour. So now, how does the queen move?
As you can see in the diagram here, it can move in any direction really. It's a combination of a rook or castle and a bishop. So it can move diagonally from itself in either direction, or it can move forward or to the side horizontally.
Excellent. Laurel, how does a king move?
A king can move in any direction, but only 1 square.
Excellent. You know what? Actually, just to add to that, 2 kings cannot meet, so there must be a square between the 2 kings, so they cannot be next to each other. Okay. So you know what? Can you give us some other rules around how the king moves?
Oh, what other rules are there? As you said, they can't. Pardon?
Can you read what's on the screen at all?
Yeah. The king cannot move into check and must move out of check by A, moving if it can, or B, blocking if it can, or C, taking the piece if it can.
And what we'll do in a moment is we'll explain what we mean by if it can. So we'll actually show you a setup, and then it'll start to make a bit more sense.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Lots of information coming out. And the reason for this is because what I often find is when you're playing, either people who've not played for a long time, or people who've not been taught by a proper coach, they haven't been taught all the rules.
Yeah.
So it's a bit like playing football and not knowing that there's an offside rule and you can get penalties and stuff like that. That's just a recap on how the pieces move. The other thing which is really important is castling. Mia, can you talk